Well, hello and good evening, everyone. Just get myself comfortable. So, I've been pondering about a little few things to throw up on YouTube, and I thought I'll have a little chat about a few subjects. So, I've decided to come up with this little one here, and I'm just curious on what you will actually think about it. So, I want you to have a look at this, right? I'll just stop it again, give it a chance. So, I want you to have a look at this and have a think about the statements, and that's all I want you to do right now. I'm going to play it once. I'll ask you a question, play it again, just so you can tune into what it is actually saying. Okay, just a couple more. So, question. How do you feel about that? What you can remember, what you saw? So there's a few statements on there. So what it is that you're trying to achieve, and the purpose behind it, the reasons why you want to do the things that you want to do. So if you can remember the certain statements, is there any particular one that jumps out at you? Any particular one that you remember from the past, or one that you'd like to remember in the future? And the question is, why? So I'm going to quickly play it again for you. Have a little look through. So divorce, breakup, abuse and hypnotherapy. From chaos comes structure. Move forward, planning. From people pleasing to a strategy. From self-doubt, empowered action. From self-destruction to balance. And you become you again. Purpose. Okay, so you got a purpose to become you again. So, I mean, the questions are, as I've stated there, how do you feel about it? Are there any particular parts that hit you? Do certain things remind you of the past, or something that you're trying to achieve in the future? Now, my question is, which part hit you most? My answer will be the last one. You become you again. So I have a purpose. So the last one is actually my first one, is to, where am I going? It's like someone says to you, where you going? And they go, I don't know. I'm just trying to find a way to get there. And you think, well, if you're trying to find your way to get somewhere, you need to know where it is that you're going before you start your journey to get there. And a lot of people actually don't realize that, and they have in their mind that they just want to keep on going somewhere, but they actually don't know what they want to actually achieve. At the end of their road, they don't know what they want to find. So before you do decide to go on a big march in your head or physically to go somewhere, map out what it is that you want to achieve. Work out what it is that you want at the end of this road, and then work backwards. You might think that sounds a bit strange, work backwards. Should we not be working forwards? What's my 1 year plan, 5 year plan, 10 year plan? What is it I want in my bucket list, etc.? So you're going forward. And yeah, in a way, I get what you're thinking, but what I'm trying to tell you is that you can strive forward, but you can only go forward if you know what it is you're going forward to. We can stumble through life. But is that what you want to do? Just stumble through life until you find something that you were looking for, or find something you weren't looking for and you're willing to settle for it? None of that's good. Doesn't help, really. But there are people that do it. There are people who are quite happy just to stumble through life, and that's totally up to them. That's perfect. No structure, no purpose. So what it is that you're trying to achieve, you don't know what you're trying to achieve, just that you want to get up in the morning, do something through the day and go back to bed. And like I say, I'm not here to judge. If you think that's the life that you want to lead, then crack on. I really hope you enjoy it, and good luck to you. If you're not that person, then you need to be thinking about structuring what it is that you want to do. All businesses do their business plan and they work from the point that they are to the point that they want to be. But at the same time, most bank managers and investors will be looking at the end result, because there's no use saying in year 1, I'm going to make all this money. Year 2, I'm going to make all this money. And then the start of year 3, it's crapped itself, because there's nothing actually at the end of it. Most businesses can show you millions and millions of pounds in assets, but not have a bean in the bank. So the other question is that a good thing or a bad thing? I would say it's a bad thing. And I'll tell you why I think it's a bad thing. I think it's a bad thing because money is still king. If you've got money, then you can buy something with it. But if I've got 5 cars outside and they're worth £1 million and I want to go to the pub, I've got no money, but I'm going to go to the pub and I want a dinner afterwards. I want to take someone out. I want to take someone on holiday. I'm going to have to sell a car. It's the only thing I can do. I'm going to have to get a loan against my assets to be able to do things like that. That's probably not the best way to explain it, because obviously I will be having a income, a wage, but the cash in the bank, should I want to go further than just going to the pub. But if I actually wanted to buy a car, I'm probably going to find it difficult to do, because especially through the business hasn't got that kind of money to buy a car. It's got enough money to pay me and somebody else and whoever else is involved with the business, but it hasn't got enough money to pay for a vehicle for me, or even as a business asset, because there is no money really left in the bank account to pay for things like that. So you need to be thinking, which is best, assets or the cash? So the cash is king. Assets is great because you can borrow against assets. But the only thing is cash doesn't particularly devaluate in this country, but assets do devaluate, unless it's property. Usually that goes up. But talking about where we're talking about cars, forget that, they go down in value unless you've got a classic one. So moving on, what I will say to you is, why did I ask you to look at those slides? 90% of you will follow what I just said, and you'll look at the slides and you will think, yeah, maybe that one, maybe this one. But none of you thought, well, what's the purpose of me looking at these cards? These slides. What is the reason? I haven't given you a reason. So I haven't given you a purpose. Most of you might just say, I'm not going to look at the slides. I haven't got a reason to look at the slides. If you'd have said, look at them slides, and while you're looking at them, I want you to do this, that. All you've said is look at them and read the statements, but you haven't said, why is it you want me to read the statements? So that takes us back to another part of purpose. If you don't know why you're doing something, why are you doing it? You need to understand why you're about to do something, or why you're planning to do something. If you've got a strategy in mind, then there has to be a reason and a purpose behind the strategy. Otherwise, why do it? It makes absolutely no sense. So all these are little niggles, and the little niggles that have got me niggling and scratching the back of my brain for years. But now I'm starting to get the answers for them. I'm not getting the answers to them because I've invested my time and money in doing courses on NLP, which is neuro-linguistic programming. Get me tongue out. Divorce coaching, separate and breakup coaching, and life coaching, as well as numerous not necessarily credited courses about NLP from amazing people, very long courses, but it's there to build up what you already have. So it's basically the paintbrush and the white paint that you have with the information you gain from doing courses, and then someone starts blowing a little bit of colour into it, a little bit more colour, to gain a really insightful picture. So it's not black and white, it's got more to it. Don't get me wrong, black and white will get you from one end to the other, and you'll be able to explain how you started and how you got to the end. But it's all the other little bits that come round it that you need to polish up and get more and gain more knowledge on what it is that you're trying to explain to someone. Because you can explain to someone that a paintbrush and paint, if you put the paintbrush in the paint pot and put it on the wall and put paint on. But some people will say, yeah, but how does the paint stay on the brush and doesn't fall off? What is the paint made of to make it so white? Why isn't it thicker or thinner? So there, when you do other courses that not necessarily may be accredited or certificated, but they're giving you knowledge. It's like if you decide to buy a book, you bring the book in and you read it about a subject you're interested in. You know how to do the subject. You could be a joiner, a brickie, electrician, but you buy a book about the same subject just to give you some hints, things you may have forgotten, skill fades, but new ideas and innovations to do with your subject that you do on a daily basis. So we all want to increase, or should want to increase, our knowledge base. Otherwise we become stagnant. So once that happens, you start to be getting pushed out the circle of the environment of the industry that you are involved in, because you've got nothing to add, because you haven't decided to follow what it is that you do, hopefully with a passion, and gain more insight by what is going on, because somebody somewhere has come up with a new part of something that you are studying that you're not aware of, that no one else is aware of, and they bring it to the table and you go, now we're aware of it. But if you're not in that circle of being aware of things, then you're not going to know about it and you're going to miss out. So don't miss out. If you've got nothing to do and nothing better to do, study, learn. I'm not saying that you need to go to university, but pick a book up and re-educate yourself. Okay, just get your brain working. Start understanding things, whether it be puzzles, whether you start reading about English literature, whether you read about history, whether it's geography, just start getting your brain going again. Because once you start doing that, it's like the first time you go to the gym. It's a bit of a ball ache when you start, but once you start enjoying it, because your brain wakes up again and it's looking and it wants to discover. The same as when you go to the gym. You're doing the weights and you want to know what it's like to do your legs and your ankles and your wrists and your eyebrows, whatever it is that you want to do in the gym. These things go from one point to the next, but it's got to start with that one point. So get your fingers out, get involved, start looking at things, understand things, and as you understand things, you will prepare yourself to move forward. It's a natural progression. You want to know. That's why people go to school, they go to secondary school, they go to college, and then they end up going to university. The natural progression is because they are in that circle of knowledge that they want to improve themselves and they want to gain more out of it. And once they're there, there's people that do the university, they get the degree, and then they want to up it, and then they want to up it again, and they walk out there 7 years later, and they've got a doctorate. Absolutely brilliant. I'm not saying that they'll be able to do much with it. They may not be able to do anything with it if it's specialised, but the fact is that they did it, they re-educated themselves, and they educated, and pushed themselves to the brinks of everything that they need to know. But I guarantee there is more to learn. There always is. It's like nothing's perfect. It's 99.9%, but it's not 100%, because nothing ever is. There's always an imperfection in something, whether it's your life, what it is you do, a possession, anything, right? Even your loved ones are never perfect, and probably a hell of a lot less than 99.9%. But we live with that. We live with imperfections, because sometimes it's the imperfections that makes the person. It makes the product. It makes your possession. That little kink, at the end of your guitar. Not only is it now unique, but it may actually have been added to the value because it was designed accidentally like that, so it's increased in value. So never mark a price tag down on what you think is a defect or an imperfection, because there's a lot to be said for it. Anyway, I'm going to leave with that. These are just quick insights, something for you to think about. You either take it on board and take it away, or you take it on board and throw it away. Whichever way, I've still sat here and chatted about it, so it makes no difference what you do with it. I would hope that there's something for you to take away, at the very, very least, something to take away. But if you need to know any more about it, I'm going to be throwing more up, and you can always send me a message and discuss something you want to discuss, or ask me about something and I'll try and explain it as much as possible. If not, I'll direct it to someone who probably can explain it maybe a little bit better than I can, and there's plenty of people like that. So take down the name, take down the website, and any other contact details. Let us know what you're thinking, and hey, we can have a chat. I'll even bring you on board as a guest if you really want to. Yeah. So just let us know. Let us know what you want to do, if anything, and I'll speak to you when I see you next. Thank you, and good evening, and good night.